Now, let me bring you some breaking news. Sky News understands that a man who held a rabbi and members of his congregation hostage at a synagogue in Texas yesterday was British. All 4 captives were released, but we know that the hostage taker himself is now dead. Let's get more on this, Sky's Inzamam Rashid joins us. So, Inzi, what more have we been learning?
Well, we can tell you now, officially from the Foreign Office here in the UK, they have released a statement saying that we are aware of the death of a British man in Texas and are in contact with the local authorities. It's also understood that the Foreign Office haven't yet been approached for direct assistance by the US authorities, but we can confirm that the gunman who held a rabbi and 3 other hostages at a synagogue in Texas was in fact a British national. Now, this was about an 11 to 12 hour hostage situation in Colleyville in Texas, where the gunman had hold of these hostages inside this place of worship. It ended in the early hours of this morning, where elite FBI team and SWAT squads had to storm the synagogue and subsequently rescue the hostages. 1 was released in the middle of negotiations, and then 3 were rescued by the US authorities, and subsequently the suspect died. Now, part of the hostage's situation when he was inside the synagogue was actually captured on a live stream on Facebook and on Zoom. It was just audio, so we couldn't actually see what was going on inside the synagogue at the time. But the audio recorded that a man, which we now believe to be this British man, the gunman at the time, was shouting quite angrily, and you could hear he was speaking in that British accent. There is still no motivation about exactly why this has happened, but we can hear from the FBI as they spoke outside the synagogue after the incident.
Today's result, which was 4 safe hostages and the situation resolved, was really a result of a long day of hard work by nearly 200 law enforcement officers. I'm also extremely proud of the team of negotiators, FBI agents and local police officers who worked all day long engaging this subject and likely saved the lives of the subjects just through their engagement. It's very likely this situation would have ended very badly early on in the day had we not had professional, consistent negotiation with the subject.
It's quite a large police operation that took place to reprimand this hostage taker, this gunman, as we now know, a British national. And as I mentioned, some of what was happening inside the synagogue was actually recorded on Zoom and streamed live on Facebook. That's because of the sermon that was taking place in the synagogue at the time. That subsequently has been taken down. And just a bit about the motive. I said earlier that there is still no confirmation of the motive, but US investigators actually believe that the hostage taker was seeking the release of Aafia Siddiqui. Now, she was a Pakistani doctor known as Lady Al-Qaeda. She's been sentenced to 86 years for the attempted murder of US soldiers and is currently in prison in the United States. Now, police confirm that dialogue is taking place between the US authorities, Tel Aviv, and London as well. And those dialogues with London will no doubt continue. Now we know that this is a British national, but there will be questions undoubtedly about how a man travelled from the UK, entered the United States, managed to get hold of a gun and managed to take hold of hostages inside a place of worship.
Indeed. Thank you for updating us, Inzi.